what a way to close it out with this young lady. She wants to retire her parents in June of 2023. See, I already know her goals. She also wants to stop doing sign language. And she wants to watch this. Well, I wish this was everybody's goal, one of your goals anyway. She wants to live off her residual income and ACM bonus money. That's powerful. She wants to live off her residual income and her ACM bonus money. You hear that, Miss Evans? That's strong. She lives in Washington, D.C. She loves to travel. And her topic this month to close the year out is finish the year strong. And this is our last call for 2022 into 2023. Can we give a warm welcome to none other than Jen Olson?
Absolutely no pressure. The last call of the whole entire year. Mr. Thomas, you're just so great. As you're saying hi to everyone and greeting people and your little pet names that you have for people, I'm just over here laughing and enjoying myself. Like, the space that you create is fun. You see people, you remember people, and yeah, you're just incredible. So thank you. And as I listen to that lineup with Mr. Sam Foster, Mr. Evans, Peyton Woods, MD Rahman, Mr. Presley Swaggerty, I was like, woo! Starting the year off strong. So thank you for all that you do. Thank you for your connections. Thank you that your relationships and who you are blesses us. So thank you for that space. I so appreciate it. You're amazing. Can't wait to see you in person again, hopefully soon. Well, it's great to be with all of you. As I was just looking on the call, it's just a gift to see your faces and to be able to be here. I'm just like, oh, Lord, use this time, use it. My prayer is that this is a blessing to someone, and you are a blessing to me. It's great to see your faces as I look at Tammy and Kenny having her morning snack, Miss Mary Elizabeth and Mr. Roberts and Mr. Randolph and Mr. Winston Herbert flying to Trinidad right now as we speak. So good to see you. So good to see all of you. Mrs. Heather Peary. Girl, you know I love you. And the cutest person on the call, I think, is, I mean, no offense, but Darlene Evans, you've got a cutie in your lap. So great we could have everyone. It's great to be with you. Adorable. So yes, I am Jen Olson. I know quite a few of you, and I don't know everyone. I am from Southern California. I live in Washington, D.C., and at the moment, I'm in Mississippi. On this kind of gloomy day. And Mr. Thomas shared the reason why I'm doing this business. And I am excited to just be with you for the next 20-ish minutes or so and just share a little bit about gems that I've picked up over the year. So I invite you to consider what gems. I have it that every year we get to pick up gems and put them in just a little bag of like treasures, gifts that were given, lessons that we've learned. And so I invite you to just kind of consider maybe what gems you've picked up, whether it's lessons that you've learned, discoveries that you've had about yourself, about relationships, about business. I have it that, you know, how we're impacted in one area of life allows us to impact every area of life, whether it be relationships or with business. And so what gems did you collect over this past year? How have you changed? How have you grown? What are you walking into 2023 with? Those gems are something that no one can take away. So yeah, they're not in a little bag and we don't carry them around. They're in our hearts. They're in who we're being and how we get to be with people. So I'm going to share with you some of the gems that I've collected over the year. You've heard some of them. I've shared some of them on the calls. And so my prayer and my hope is that it allows you to look into your own year and your own life and see what you've collected and to see how you've grown and stretched. I am just like so blessed. I just keep looking at everyone's faces. It's just such a blessing. Okay. So let me start with the first one. What did I discover from 2022? And I did share this on a call before, but one of the things is surrender. So as some of you know, on my vision board, I had the word surrender written across it. I believe it was Mrs. Peary, Mrs. T. LaDue Hayes, and myself. We did a vision board in 2021, and we were just praying and talking about like what God would have us put on this. And the word surrender just kept coming up, right? So I surrendered my desire to be married and to have a family. I surrendered my business. I surrendered so many things over the year. And it was an interesting space to be in because I have a tendency to want to control things or to have this feeling like I've got a grip on something and I can force something to happen, and to really like let go and be in a place of trusting God and opening up to what he has is a space of vulnerability. Like I feel like I'm this like little ant in the grand scheme of things. Like, yes, I'm created like fearfully and wonderfully made, like all of that good stuff. But like in the grand scheme of things, like really, can I control like what happens? It's not a place for like blessing to flow through or to be open to what God would have or to be open to what shows up, because I'm like, things have to look like this. So what I really got to discover was on a beach in Florida, surrendering my business fully to the Lord, where my hands finally like they opened up and I said, God, this is your business. I have tried to make it grow. I've tried to do these different things. And I had it that I was stopping his blessing from flowing through, like with this sense of control. So once I surrendered my business to the Lord, literally things started to happen right after that. And I don't get, how all of this stuff works. I really don't understand it, but I just know that I went from being like attached to like things having to look a certain way to being open and just committed to them looking a certain way. So I don't know if there's something this past year that you were able to surrender, that you were able to let go of. And it doesn't mean that we just like, lay in bed all day and then we just do whatever we want to do and expect for the outcome to come. Like we still have a responsibility, right? In doing what there is for us to do. But it was just a position of my mind, a position of my heart to move in. Whew, and it shifted the way that I was in my communication. It completely shifted how I was communicating after I had that act of really surrendering. I actually was able to believe more that things would happen once I let go. And I was able to be in communication with people in a different way than I had ever been, because I was coming from like, it has to work versus like, it is going to work. Like, I have no doubt about it. And let me invite you into something that I am passionate about. Like, I don't know. This example, we'll just go with it and see what happens. So I don't know if like, if you've ever been pursued by someone romantically. Oof. There's this one person that was like, I want to marry you. I'm like, really? Do you know my last name? You're coming on a little strong, sir. I don't even know who you are. I want to get married, but not like that. Like, I'm not interested in that. No. So he was coming on so strong. Like, listen, I know who you are. Really? Really? You know who I am? You know if I like chocolate? Do you know if I like to travel? You don't know anything about me. His approach was like so needy. I'm like, oh, that I'm not interested. So his need or desire, poor guy, he's not gonna watch this. I don't remember his name. He had this desire, right? And this like need or something. I'm like, I'm not your person, sir. That may be a little bit, it was a big turnoff. It was a little much, right? A little much, his approach. There was just like this like attachment to what needed to be. Well, I'm not interested in that. And I have it that that's the way I was in business. Like it has to work out. It needs to work out. And that, yeah, maybe it wasn't like that, but it comes through in my communication. I don't know if that landed, but that was there for me. So I shared it with you. So I came from a place of just surrendering and not being like, this has to happen. Like, no, this will happen. So it released something in me. So surrender. Okay. Gem numero dos. To step into what is uncomfortable. Mr. L. Thomas, I don't know why you wanted to gift me. He's like, Jen, it's your time. God put it on my heart. I'm going to ask you to talk. Okay, Mr. Thomas, I don't want to take your calls anymore. And I love you and I respect you. So I will take your calls and call you back. But this, people are like, step out, out of your comfort zone. And I'm like, I feel like I've been comfortable. Like, how am I going to stretch or grow? And Mr. Thomas, this is literally the most uncomfortable thing that I have done all year, is being on these calls. Uncomfortable. This has stretched me so much in so many different ways. I have never done anything like this before. I'm a sign language interpreter. I have everyone else's conversations, not even my own. I haven't experienced, like, in different capacities, and probably to keep myself safe and small. Like, I have not stepped into anything where it's like really my voice being heard, or like sharing my voice. And so, my heart would be a little fast. My tum-tum might not feel so settled. Like, it's uncomfortable. And to think like, oh, what I have to say could be a gift. Like, I had to get past, like, the limiting thought of like, what I have to say isn't going to be like a Mr. Presley Swaggerty, or Mr. MD Rahman, or Mrs. Jocelyn Driscoll, or Mr. Shaquille Cooper, or Mr. Sam Foster, or Mrs. Heather Pure, anyone else. Like, I had to get past like comparing myself. Like, my voice and their voice is equally important, and the impact will be what the impact will be. So it was uncomfortable to step into what Mr. Thomas, thank you, invited me into. Those feelings are just feelings, right? Like, I don't know when you step into something that's uncomfortable, like those feelings, for me, it's like, normally my tum-tum and my heart beats a little bit faster. I'm not a doctor, but I don't know that you're going to go into some sort of like cardiac arrest because your heart's beating a little bit fast. Like, so far I have made it through these calls, and like, I've been able to talk about, life afterwards. So I wanted to say no. The part of me that wants to stay small, the part of me that doesn't want to stretch, that doesn't want to grow, wanted to say, I'm okay, Mr. Thomas, I never saw your call, sorry. And the part of me that is like, no, each of us has a voice. Each of us is a gift. And if I say that and I don't step into it, then I have it that I don't really believe it. So I got to step into it, like me feeling, like me thinking about how I'm so nervous and I'm this and I'm that and I'm so uncomfortable, has me focused on myself and doesn't move me into action. But as soon as I take my eyes off of myself and think of, listen, we each have a voice. I said it before, like, created to be a contribution. If I really believe that, then I get to be who I am. You get to be who you are. And instead of me focusing on myself, when I think of other people and when I get to think about, wow, prayerfully, like, this would make a difference for somebody, like, I get to move into action. Yeah. Thinking about myself, it keeps me small. It keeps me small, and the blessing doesn't get to flow, right? Like, it gets all like clogged up over here, and there's a little traffic jam of whatever, because I'm thinking about myself and how I'm, but shifting it, like, I have it that we get to be who we are, be a vessel of blessing. So I'm excited to hear each of your voices. I can't wait for you to get the call from Mr. Thomas. If this is stretching, I can't wait to be there and cheer you on and celebrate with you. So the first gem that I picked up was surrendering. The second gem was stepping into discomfort. And in that stepping into discomfort, really discovering that suffering is a choice. Like, I could say that things are going to be, hard, and things are going to be uncomfortable, and things are going to be just not good. And I can sit in that, or I could, like, it feels and occurs as suffering, or I could choose to say it's an opportunity to stretch and to grow. Okay. Numero tres with my great accent. Okay. So as some of you know, the third gem that I picked up is tomorrow is not promised. And so Mr. Thomas, I actually think, was there a movie on Pele? Was there a movie on him? Anyone know? Okay, I think I actually watched it. I'm like, I think I've heard that name before. So, as he said in the beginning, tomorrow is not promised. And I shared I don't know, a month or two ago that my uncle was on his deathbed when I was talking on one of these talks. And a week after his 57th birthday, he passed. So he passed about 2 months ago. And we had conversations before he passed, and he had cancer. So it was about a 1.5-year process until he passed. And he was a talker. He was a life of the party. Like, our family, the experience of the family together is not the same as it was when he was around. Like, he was a storyteller. He was just larger than life personality, a lot of fun. Man, we would disagree on things and it was so fun. I'm like, you're such a pain and I love you all the same. Yeah, he's a good guy. So I remember talking one time when I was in Florida. I was staying at a beachfront. I didn't pay for that. I'm not Mr. Thomas, not yet. But you know what I'm saying? Someone was generous and I was able to stay in a beachfront hotel, and it was beautiful. I got to wake up to the sunrise and the sunset. And so I was on a video call with my uncle and we were chatting. He was in the hospital. He wasn't doing so well. And we got to talk for an hour, and that was a gift. That was the last time I got to talk to him for a really long time, where he was like alert, and he didn't know where I was. And I was just, sharing with him how much I loved him and just how grateful I was for who he is. And he heard this like car, like come by like really loud. He's like, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm at the beach, Theo." And he's like, "You love the beach, don't you?" I said, "I do. I would love to live like on the beach." And he said, "Jen, if you love it, do it." And to hear it coming from somebody like, I've talked about living by the beach, I don't know, since I could talk. I feel like I love the beach. Like, I love it. It's my happy place. And hearing it from my uncle, who literally at that point had about a month or 2 months, we didn't know, but we knew it was short. He's just like, "Do it. Like, do it. You're not promised tomorrow. You don't know how long your life." He never thought that his life would end, what we would say, so short. He would talk about, gosh, I was so looking forward to retiring, to traveling the world with my wife. He had all of these dreams and these hopes for himself that he wanted to do. And it was a process for him to get to where he was. He was he fought until the very end. I wasn't with him as he passed, but he was a fighter. He fought until the end. And he had dreams and visions that he didn't get to fulfill on. And we don't know, why things happen. Like, we don't know why they happen. We may never understand it this side of heaven. But hearing that from my uncle, like, what dreams are there for you that you've been thinking about, that you've been wanting to fulfill on? Like Mrs. Heather Peary was talking about, like, she's been wanting to learn Spanish for quite some time. And this is the year that she's gonna be teaching me Spanish. I can't wait for that. It's gonna happen. Like, what dreams, what's in your heart that you want to fulfill on, that you think, I'll get to it next year? Give me 5 years to just finish a couple of things and then I'm going to get to it. What if we all fulfilled on our dreams and our visions this year together? So, surrender. I have to look back so I can remember. Surrender, step into discomfort. Tomorrow is not promised. And this next one, just like be with me in this, because it may take a little bit for me to like actually be clear in what this gem is that I picked up. The next one that I discovered is, I said, being straight in communication. And it's funny that I feel like I'm going to be like all over the place when this is what I discovered. So ready to go on a little journey with me? So historically, I have I'm saying historically because I don't want to take on that that's who I am, right? Like I'm being intentional about how I'm saying this. So historically, I have not been straight in communication with people. So if you know me, you know there's, you know, a little rebellion that shows up in my heart sometimes, you know, against like authority or against people telling me what to do. I'm like, don't tell me what to do. Or I have friends who are like, you're a strong, independent woman. I'm like, I am, but I don't want to be like that kind of a strong and independent woman. Like, so there's a little, you know, a little rebellion that rises up sometimes. And so I don't like people telling me what to do. That doesn't sound very coachable. I'm like, I'm gonna do my own thing. That's not cute. So I don't like people telling me what to do. So I haven't been telling people what to do, even when it'll serve them. And I discovered this in business. So I'm like, okay, you know, I had like my business, you know, I hit numbers that I had never hit before. And I was, you know, people were getting in one of the months, I think it was almost like 20 people who joined my business. And I was like, this is so exciting. Like, this is so great. And then I was like, yeah, so you probably want to maybe, like, it would be a good idea if you, and I wasn't straight with them because somewhere back here, I didn't want people in general to be straight with me because I didn't want to hear them say, like, tell me what to do. Are you guys tracking so far? Más o menos, menos que más. Okay. So I took away the person, like people in my business, I took away their autonomy. I took away their ability to choose what they got to do because I wasn't straight with them and coaching them from the system. I was like, well, maybe I want you to like me, so I'm not going to tell you what to do. That's about me. That's not about what would be beneficial to them. So I discovered that I train people how to speak to me to keep me small. And at the same time, I'm keeping other people small. And I was like, ooh, that's nasty. That's real nasty. Because I'm not seeing people as the big human beings that they are. People who get to take on their business in a way that will really serve them. People can make whatever decision they want to make. You know, I say I want people to be free. I want them to be self-expressed. I want them to be empowered. And then I wasn't even giving them the choice to do that. So that's one of the gems that I picked up, was discovering, and it's still a discovery, of being straight in communication. Okay, I see some head nodding. So I say that I got through to, okay, cool. Thanks for going with me on that. All right. And my last one. So we ready to recap? Surrender, stepping into discomfort. Tomorrow is not promised. Being straight in communication. And then number 5, having a winning mindset. So this is a new story. We're bringing in some Mississippi references here that just bear with me. You know, I looked on Wikipedia again today and I'm going to trust it. I'm going to trust what I heard people talk about. So apparently college football is a big thing in some places in the country. I don't think I've ever watched a college game before, but that's okay. That's okay. We can still talk about it. Daryl, do you watch college football? You do. Tennessee, couldn't even tell you. I'm like, Clemson? No, that's South Carolina. Anyways, I'm not even going to try, but let's just keep it moving forward. So Jackson State University, please tell me that's the right one. Yes, Jackson State University is over here. So I'm in Jackson right now. And so we drove by Jackson State University and people were talking about Deion Sanders. Have you heard of him? Oh, you all have. I was the only one that had it. I literally was like, Dionne Warwick, who are we talking about? Is this a singer? Sam, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Life is good over here under my rock with rose-colored glasses on. Okay, so Deion Sanders apparently is a person. who's a great, who is a great, he's a little popular. I got you, Dave Culver, I got you. So he's not a singer that I know of. Just a little. Okay, everybody knows. Okay, cool. So you guys will fact check me. I know this is so bad, Miss Jackie Black. I know. Okay, so Deion Sanders. You guys know this probably more than I do, but I'm discovering it. So Deion Sanders was a great. I don't know what that means, but we'll go with it. Showtime. Okay, cool. Maybe it's something he says. Oh, that's what they call him. Is that what they call him? Prime time. Prime time is what they call. I don't know. Wikipedia said something. Okay, let me move it. Let me move it forward. I'm getting stuck here. I'm getting stuck. Now I just want to be playful. Be serious, Jen. Be serious. Okay. So he was a football player. He was a really great football player. And he also played a little bit of baseball. Did you guys know that too? Oh, everybody knew that. Dang, I was all excited. I'm like, I'm finding out new facts. Okay. This is old news. So he then became the coach for Jackson State University, a historically Black college university. Okay, eventually, right? Eventually he did that. Keep it moving. Okay, we got it. We're on the right path. Okay, cool. So he did well, right? Like really, really well. They were like undefeated for a whole season. Is that how we call it? A season. They were undefeated. They were on a winning streak. They were doing so great. And then he's like, hold up. It's been real good being with you. You all are doing a really great job, but I'm going to move, never eat shredded wheat. I'm going to move out west. I'm going to go to Colorado. Right? Did he say that before the last game? Okay, cool. So then did they win or lose the last game? Dang, you guys all know this. They lost the last game. They won, Jabri? No, I'm not going to go with that. They lost the last game. He's trying to, he's got it twisted. They lost the last game. So talk about a winning mindset, right? Like they were winning. They were doing so great. They're probably better at the end of the season than they were at the beginning of the season because they've been practicing and winning and like they're champions, right? And then they lost the last game. But what shifted? Miss Jackie Black is pointing to her brain. Their mindset, right? Their mindset. Something must have shifted in their mindset because they were slated to win, to be undefeated for a whole entire season. So I don't know what circumstances will come up, what will get into our heads when it looks like we're going to win. Does that mean they were a failure? No, they lost one game that season. But I don't know what you're going to see that's like, oh no, I can't. That's not me. I'm not going to do. Where we start thinking and getting into our head in such a way that we lose sight of who we are, where we've come from, and where we're going. That's fascinating. No, I don't think I'm going to ever do a sports reference again. So yesterday, I walked to this rec center with my friend and I was like, there's a rec center with a basketball hoop. I haven't like shot a basket in a long time, but I was like, let's play pig. But I guess it's really called horse, where you know, horse, the game where you shoot horse. I just did the short one because I don't think I had the attention span for horse. But anyway, so there were two kids, they're playing. I'm like, do you guys want to play pig? He was like, what? I'm like, horse. Oh yeah. Let's play horse. Okay, great. So it was four of us. So picture this. So there was my friend who's like 6'12". No, that's not a height. 6'3", tall, right? Like all he has to do is like reach up and then the basket's in the basket. Then there's me, 5'5". And then there's Jaden, who we met yesterday. He's what? He's probably like 12 years old. So he's like a little guy, super sweet. Then there's Aubrey. You guys tracking? Aubrey is like 9. She's the shortest one of us all, like a tiny little sweet thing. So we're playing horse. And I mean, we weren't really making the baskets or shooting the shot, whatever. We weren't putting the ball into the net. We weren't doing that, right? But finally, like people started doing it. And then Aubrey was like H. She had an H, and then she had an O, then she had an R. And all of us were like, good, right? And then I think she had an S twice, maybe. The spelling was a little bit off, but whatever. We kept it moving forward. So Aubrey was the one that was not, she was losing, right? She was like losing. And then I think I got an H and an O, whatever. At one point, we had the tall person who was 6'3", Jaden and Aubrey. They were all had like HORS. I don't know how, maybe just luck. I was like a HO maybe or something. So my friend got out, Jaden got out, and it was Aubrey and myself. At the beginning, Aubrey was losing, right? She was losing her shot. She was losing her shot. She was missing them. And she is tiny. From the circumstances, she would have lost, right? You would have thought the person who's 6'3", who just has to extend their hand all the way and the ball gets in, he's going to win. For sure. He's got height on his side. And Aubrey, like this little cute thing, like we're just not so sure. So she was shooting shots in the beginning closer to the basket. But as it was just her and I, she got more and more confident. She was shooting shots from way back. I don't know how far. I barely tried to like get it into the net. And she would get the ball into the net. It didn't even touch anything. It just, I don't know what that's called, but it just went right in. I don't know what her mindset was at the beginning of that game. Like, look, I'm playing against these giants. There's no way I'm going to win. And she would like shoot shots that were safe. But as we went, she got better. I don't know. Did she get better and better over the course of that 20-minute game? I don't know. But I have it that her confidence increased. She's this little thing. I don't even know how tall these people are. How tall are 9-year-olds? 3 feet, 4 feet, something like that. They little. 4 feet something. She was so confident and she won the game. I was the one who she and I was like, okay, we got little Aubrey and then we got tall giant friend. It doesn't matter what we see. It doesn't matter what's in front of us, right? We may think that I'm not going to even shoot my shot. I'm not even going to try. But what if you shoot your shot? It doesn't matter what you're facing, what circumstance comes your way that you don't even predict that's going to happen. What if you just play all out, even when the odds are stacked against you? Maybe her lens in the beginning that she was looking through is, I'm going to lose. And you could easily take off glasses. They're not stuck, right, Miss Sherry-Ann? They're not stuck on your face. You don't wake up and they're glued to your face. You get to take them off and put on another pair if you want to that matches your outfit. I see you all the time with your cute glasses. So what if you picked up glasses that like, I am a winner? It doesn't matter what comes my way. This is how I'm going to see the circumstances that are coming up. Okay, cool. It's just an obstacle. It's just something I get to get past. So we get to shift how we see what comes our way. We're not stuck with it being a certain way. So that little Aubrey, she was great. So surrender, step into discomfort. Tomorrow is not promised. Being straight in communication and having a winning mindset. These are some of the gems that I've picked up over the past year. These are some of the things that the Lord has taught me, that I've just discovered in being in relationships with you and being in this business. And I invite you to look to see what gems you've picked up over this past year, what you're taking with you into 2023, how you get to be the gift that you're created to be, how you like get to be fully self-expressed so that you, the gift that only you are, gets to be shared with the world. I love you all. Have an amazing rest of the year. I will see you all next year, God willing. Thank you, Mr. Thomas.